Hey guys, what's up? This is the budget ramp Druid deck that I already explained and displayed before, so I would like to play with it. So let's head right into standard ranked play mode and see who we will be up against.
Malfurion versus Garrosh.
Victory or death! I must protect the wild.
So Warrior is practically always a pirate warrior at this point, which is just probably the most aggressive deck there is right now. And against something like that, you really want a hand like this actually. So we have the Living Roots on turn 1, can quickly follow that up by the Jade Blossom and the Mire Keeper to create board, and this is a matchup where you don't really need to ramp up too much. The difficulty is to just survive the early rounds and not already die on turn 4. So we start out and can immediately put 2 1/1 minions on the board, which is pretty nice. And now we see what they do. Yeah, so that's the usual pirate warrior start. But he actually trades there into 2 minions, which is pretty nice. And yeah, I will hero power that one away. Yeah, so the pirate warrior deck is just super ridiculous and maybe a little bit too fast for this deck to keep up. Because as you can see, they just play so much, so quickly, that even with ranking up, you're just too slow. They still have 6 damage on board, just like that, which is pretty insane. Maybe the Jade Blossom is even too slow here, to be honest. I might just want to hero power into this one, to not take another 2 damage every single turn here. And the Mire Keeper will probably be used to summon a 2/2 slime. It's really difficult to just survive the early rounds against the Pirate Warrior. And this one's also super frustrating to deal with. So yeah, let's see what we do. Yeah, this one also denies us to just play the Mire Keeper and summon a slime. And really makes me think about what to play here. Might just go with the Polluted Hoarder, which could also be quickly punished. He probably has another weapon in hand, so his 1/2 will become a 3/2 again, yeah. He was definitely having a weapon in hand. So it's a good question what we want to go with. I might actually want to ramp up further to play the Bog Creeper as soon as possible. I feel like that's probably the only way for us to really go through here and not die too early. Yeah, Heroic Strike. It's basically a weapon, more or less. Yeah, buffing this one, but at least only for 1 point. Let's say, right? Actually pretty weak. So, okay, he doesn't have another weapon in hand. That's really good for us, of course. And the swipe, of course, is insanely good here. And along with the Living Roots, we can actually really deal with the board. So there are mechanics in this deck to even deal with the aggro. We of course drew pretty well to just deal with them, but they also had such an insane start. And there is the Arcane Reaper, so yeah. They actually have the Dream going there. And yeah, we're still not safe. It's still insane. So yeah, actually probably, I don't know if I really want to go with anything else. I think I will just keep it like that. Maybe just play Shit 2 next turn, simply to deal with their board. But yeah, let's see what he does. Maybe another Heroic Strike, let's see. Okay, so probably there's not another Heroic Strike, so will he use the weapon? Yeah, he takes the weapon. And it's interesting what he has in hand here. Another 1/3 weapon. Yeah, so now we actually need a really, really good and lucky Chitoon. Yeah, I think there's no other way for us to do this than just hope for Chitoon to solve this issue for us. Yeah, Chitoon worked pretty well there. But once again, they likely just top deck another charge minion or so. But I feel like this was already pretty close. I mean, you have a 6/6 on the board here. And yeah, let's just see.
Greetings.
Yeah, they top deck another one. But yeah, you can see this almost kept up with the insane Pirate Warrior start. So even against these insane Warrior decks, insane aggro decks there, you still have a chance. You don't immediately lose. Just yeah, they top deck a little bit and yeah, had a really, really insane start though going. They just almost had a perfect turn every single time. So yeah, this is something, of course, the Ram Druid can't really keep up with. It's a little too slow for that. Of course, you can put more cards in, like Misses of Mixtures, for example, to deal with these aggro decks a little better when you encounter them just a lot. But against most other decks, it works really well. So yeah, Hunter, that's actually something you encounter pretty rarely. But yeah, let's see how this goes, of course. Against Hunter, you do prefer a bit more ramping. So yeah, Jade plus the Mirror Keeper is perfect here. They usually play buff decks, which are a little bit slower too. So that's actually a pretty decent matchup for us. We can consider to just innervate into the Jade Blossom. We don't really have a follow-up then though. So this is something I don't really like too much. I prefer to keep the innervate for a point where you might really need it. We can also innervate into Mirror Keeper, which I think is a little bit stronger to actually put a 3/3 minion onto the board. So yeah, let's just do that. Innervate into Mirror Keeper, and we always want the Mana Crystal. There's hardly any situation where you want to slime, unless you have like an insane aggro face-up. And yeah, this might be a freezing trap. I don't really mind it too much. We could use it actually for another ramping. So yeah, let's just see what it is for now. It's not a freezing trap. Yeah, then I will just play the Jade Blossom and turn here. Alright, now I wonder a little bit which spell it could be. It could be Snipe, for example. Alright, slightly slow plays by him there. Let's just see. Go face like this, I guess. Explosive trap, yeah, it's not really too much of a surprise. And I just play the Dark Core. If the Dark Core hits the freezing trap, that's also not too bad, so we get another Chitoon buff. First we see what he gets. Taunt minion, alright. Question is if we really want to attack. It could likely be a freezing trap, or is it? I don't know, let's see. No, it's not a freezing trap, alright. Yeah, I think we just play the Asia Drake here. Could be Snipe. No, it's not Snipe either. Well, I pretty much really don't know. Probably Bear Trap then. That's Bear Trap. I don't mind that too much though. We still cover it with the Taunt minion. And now it's pretty much our time to shine, so we are really putting strong minions onto the board that they just struggle to deal with. And yeah, this 3 damage going face there doesn't really mean too much. So let's see if this triggers anything. No, it's once again not a freezing trap, so I will just play the Bog Creeper. Might be another bad trap as he didn't play it previously. But yeah, let's see. So yes, you see the Hunter even going here with a bit of an aggro deck is still really struggling a lot to deal with this. They only dealt 6 face damage so far, so yeah, let's see what we do. I think I want to attack here, since that one can become stronger and stronger. And probably just play the Boulder Stubber here. Yeah, I do think that he has another bear trap, so I'm not gonna attack his face. Don't really want to deal with another beast right now. Kill command. Yeah, sure, it's better to take that into a minion. Another one goes face. But you see that he's already out of cards in hand. So it's also getting too difficult for him to deal with this. And yeah, we would have had another Tor minion there. So yeah, I would have gone pretty decently anyway. So you can see, even against this deck, which was also more on the aggro side, you still have a really good matchup. It's really just a Pirate Warrior, which is awfully just too fast. And too insane. So yeah, let's actually go with another run here. See if we maybe get another rather difficult matchup or an easier one. Priest is really a difficult one, which you encounter quite a bit. Reno Logs, I think, are pretty fair matchups, or another Pirate Warrior. Yeah, that's always the painful matchup, to be honest. Yeah, Living Roots really being a keep here. White Grove, Innervate, of course, is the keep. Jade Blossom, I think, is a little too slow. Nah, I think I like this. We actually hope for, well, Jade Blossom into Jade Blossom. We actually hope for a stronger Taunt minion here. So will they play their 1-mana pirate or won't they? Yeah, that's also the thing, they pretty much always have ends of first mate. Oh, just ended his turn. It's a little weird.
That was an error.
Yeah, that indeed was an error. Alright, that I don't really understand, but yeah, sure, I will take it. I think I actually want to do it like this. Summon 2 saplings. And just to have a bit more pace, also immediately White Grove. To pretty much have a permanent coin. So trading the Innervate for a permanent coin, I think is a decent deal. And now our board is almost even. At least for the moment, so he trades it there. He actually trades. So, yeah, to protect that one, of course. Yeah, that makes sense, I guess. And yeah, now we will look for the Smork hero power. Well, he didn't find it, though. Let's just go with the Jade Blossom. Nothing else really to do. Aegir Drake being a decent follow-up. They have 6 damage on board just like that. Their hero power being really bad though.
Don't worry, loves. The cavalry's here.
Yeah, and there's more Smork. They trade there, which I guess is a good idea for them. Pharrell Rage is a really decent tech card for this matchup though, to just gain the armor and thus also more time. Next turn Dark Arakor, Torn Minion, also pretty decent. So yeah, in this match here we might have a chance, but they still have a lot of damage on the board. Still can work with even more from their hand. Probably don't use the weapon. I use that weapon since they have another one, to keep this one being buffed. So yeah, let's play the Dark Arakor to at least have a Torn minion. And I will take care of the strongest one. For them to deal 1 damage is actually not too easy, so this one is more or less safe even. And yeah, now they have to deal with our Torn minion here first, as they can't just go face, they can't just ignore it. And yeah, Pharrell Rage giving us a little more time. In this matchup you really want to use it for 8 armor most of the time, instead of 4 attack. 4 attack here is just absolutely wasted most of the time. But you also don't want to play that too early. You really want them to throw their value away to deal as much damage as possible. You really want to make them a little desperate for another Fury War Axe. So they just end it like that. Wow. It's actually a little ballsy by them, to be honest, to just end it like that. Yeah, the question is if we want to make the trades. This is also something where we can just create more pressure. Bog Creeper. Yeah, with Bog Creeper, which is another really good defensive tool, I think I will make at least a bit of a trade here. Like this, that, but here we can go face. Yeah, sure. Can weapon that one. Oh, they actually trade. And I feel like that's a mistake for them. The longer they make this match, the less and less becomes their winning chance. And here, I think I actually prefer this. Simply deal with their board entirely. So yeah, now they're actually put into a rather difficult situation here. Yeah, the hero power, the priest hero power, just really not doing it for them. Yeah, 4 damage with the weapon. Mortal strike. But there, here's our turn where we can go with the Feral Rage to just regain some armor. And here's a taunt minion that they also have to deal with. And now they're put into a pretty difficult spot here, where they have to deal with our taunt minion and still deal 12 damage into our face. Which seems to be too difficult for them. So you can see, you can even beat the Smog Warrior. So yeah, this deck can really work against aggro, and against mid-range deck, against really strong control decks, and against priest, it's not doing too well. But otherwise I think it's really nice, and doing pretty well on ladder actually. So yeah, let's maybe go for another match, see if we can get something different than just aggro smog decks. Maybe something like priest or so to display another really difficult matchup for this deck. But yeah, let's see.
Malfurion versus Malfurion.
I must protect the wild. Nature must be preserved.
So the mirror match is pretty interesting. It depends on if they also have some kind of ramp deck, or if they maybe go for a J Druid deck, which is also pretty common. The J Druid deck is not really like the best matchup you can have. It's something where we actually have to be fast, where we have to be a little bit more aggressive. Yeah, this hand being a little slow. Not the best hand without any additional mana gain just now. But yeah, they also have a slower deck. Already drew 2 North Sea Krakens. So a lot of our late game, which is not exactly what we want this early. Feral Rage could become helpful here. Yeah, so this is a Jade Idol Druid. And that's pretty much what you want to do. With the first Jade Idol, you actually want to summon one of them. I often see people putting immediately 3 cards into their deck, which is often not really the decision you want to make. Yeah, shuffle 3 copies of this card into your deck. The first one, at least if you have 2 of them into your deck, the first one you really want to use to summon a 1/1, to just buff all your other cards. Living Roots, so will he summon them too? Yeah, he summons them as well. So yeah, this is good for us. They're also starting out rather slowly here. I don't even know if we are the ones who have to be trading, but just to give this a better chance of surviving, I think I would make this trade here at least. And otherwise, once again, you really want to ramp up, especially in, like, we now didn't really have any ramp just yet. We really have to go with the ramp at this point at least, to maybe still get at least a little bit of an advantage. Yeah, so he also found a white growth now. I used the Wrath to kill it there. Yeah, Wrath is actually also a decent card overall. Replacement for Living Roots actually. But yeah, let's see what we go with. I think I do like the Dark Orc here. Yeah. I guess at this point they're a little bit confused what we are playing, as they saw a bit of Ramp and now there's a Chitoon card, but not really anything else. So I guess that they do wonder a little bit. They might come up with a Ironbark Protector. No, Bran combo into a Jade Behemoth to summon 2 Jade Golems. And they make that 1 attack. Alright. So let's see what's a good turn for us here now. I think we need to deal with the Bran. And we will do so while giving this one charge. Because Brain is really painful against the Jade Druid. As they can just have all these double battle cries, all these double summons of Jade Golems. And right now they're still a little bit behind actually, but this can of course quickly change with them getting more and more of the Jade Golems up onto the board. Nourish to draw. Yeah, so now they're having a slightly slow turn, but our next turn will also not be too strong actually. And yeah, Living Roots just always being a pretty decent card. So also in this case, simply to do 2 damage. And he used the second one to put them into his deck now. Yeah, I think you want to have the option here first though. But yeah, sure. So let's go from Asia Drake, see what we get here. Yeah, Swipe being pretty nice of course, especially if you can't deal with our Asia Drake immediately. But then again, Swipe in this matchup is actually not too strong, as most of their golems were already beyond 2 health. So it's already a little bit difficult to deal with. So yeah, we really want to put up the North Sea Krakens now, just create the pressure and then actually end it as soon as we can. Because the longer this match will go, the stronger their Jade Golems will become, and just make it more and more difficult for us. So as the Pharrell Rage, not really too much of an issue though for us. Once again, Swipe is not too important here. Jade Blossom a little late. Yeah, this one we can still cover with the Kraken, so that's good for us. So yeah, let's just do that. Another Swipe. Yeah, and I feel like that from this point on, we might just want to throw everything face. Just go really face with almost everything we have. Because we really need to end this matchup now. And we have a lot of in-hand damage here actually. So 4-4, another 4, here's 4. Oh yeah, a lot of damage like that. And yeah, he deals with our Kraken, but he will also take 5 damage from it as he attacks with his hero, putting him at 17 health. Which already puts him in a slightly tight spot here. And to not allow him to trade immediately, I'll actually Kraken the Jade Spirit there. So he doesn't have the immediate trade here. And if we can guarantee another 9 damage into the face, we have a really good spot here just with the swipes. He's fishing for cards. I hope that he doesn't get a taunt minion. He says mana to draw again. And Asia Drake. So probably no taunt minion, which is really good for us. But yeah, the ref to deal with it, which is still painful though, of course. And this of course creates the question slightly how we want to continue. I think the Boulderfish Augur and the Polluted Horror, really want to put the minions up. We can still use this, the spells later. So we want to create as much board pressure as we can and give him something to deal with here. Engine of War, sure. Being pretty painful, that's something we have to deal with, of course. So I will likely swipe here. Trade this in. He has 10 damage on board, not really getting me too afraid here, so I will just go face like that. And yeah, once again, you want as many minions as you can onto the board. If he has swipe, yeah, it's of course a huge punish here. But we have to risk it actually. We can't really stall here. We can't really trade too well. And instead just have to go with it. Yeah, so no swipe, that's really, really good for us. So that might be the game. Yeah, so once again, you see how quick you have to be to win this one here. So we take attack here, do even more. And you see how every point of damage was important as we do this almost on point. So yeah, really tight one. Once again, it's the same with Priest. Priest is a very similar matchup. They really have to be as fast as possible. You don't really want to trade too much at some point. In the beginning you want board pressure, you can still trade, but otherwise you really need to be aggressive at that point. These Jade decks and Priest and really insane control decks you can't really beat in the long run, but you need to use your ramp to just take the lead, get advantage, and win the game. And you can see we already reached rank 16, actually having a win streak going here. So I think there's a lot of potential of this deck. Rank 15 is definitely possible, but you can even go beyond that. I think if you're doing really well, even rank 10 and beyond that is possible. So I really hope that this deck will help you out, that this guide helps you out. And thanks for watching.